All right, what's going on, guys? It's Luke here. We're going to run through a weekly outlook for the week coming up. We're going to be looking at the week of February 9th to the 13th, 2026. I'm going to show you guys what I have marked out on my charts, just some ideas. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly, and then we're going to go through the news really quick. So before we get into it, guys, again, Alpha Futures code LukeX will get you the best discount available. And right now they are accepting crypto payments, so that's a new feature. So if you guys want to pay crypto, you can use that now. Discord, everything in the pinned comment. And yeah, let's get right into this. I'll be right back. I'm going to pause this quick, and then we're going to run through this. So let's do this. All right, so if you guys seen my weekly outlook last week, I talked about the scenarios, seeing that we would trade towards the previous week's low, and then if we broke below that, we displaced below that, we'd probably want to trade towards these weekly lows, which is what ended up obviously happening. We took out the previous week's low right here, and then we took out this one, we took out this weekly low, we took out this weekly low, and then we kind of edged this one. We haven't taken out this one from November 17th, this week right here. And then if you look over at ES also came down, took out some weekly lows, and hasn't taken out that November weekly low down there as well. So we'll start from the higher time frame and then kind of work our way down. Starting from the monthly, obviously, still maintaining bullish order flow. Obviously, we have taken out the previous month's low, and this weekly high right here is the previous month's high, which could be a potential draw on liquidity eventually. But monthly, pretty much nothing going on. We've just kind of been, in this chop for the last few months. And if you look on the weekly, we're still in this weekly just chop. But as you can see, we did get a weekly close bearish. We did take out these weekly lows, and we got a strong rejection, which mainly came from the Friday candle. Okay, so on the weekly, all I have marked out right now is going to be the weekly high, previous week's high, previous week's low, and then this weekly low down here. These are pretty much the only draws that I have marked out in terms of the higher time frame right now. Going over to the daily, what do we have? So start of the week. Monday, we were bullish, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we dumped. Friday, we recovered, and right now we are reacting off of this daily bearish for value gap right now. So really not too much. We're just still just stuck in this range. We obviously had to break to the downside. We came back up with a quick recovery. So we really just want to be paying attention here and seeing what price wants to do from this gap. If it wants to displace above it and trade towards previous week's high, or we want to get a rotation back down. We did put in, like I said, relative equal lows right here with this previous week's low and this weekly low. So this could be an area that we want to see price retrace down to if we want to continue bearish. So I'm going to show you guys ES really quick. Looking at ES, obviously we're maintaining monthly bullish. We look on the weekly, again, we're just trapped in this range, right? We look on the daily, we obviously came down. We took out those two sets of weekly lows. We left those same weekly lows that NQ hasn't taken out. And then for draws on liquidity, we have marked out previous week's low. We have previous week's high, and then we have the all-time high up here because obviously ES put an all-time high and NQ didn't. And as you can see, this Friday candle gave very strong recovery. Pretty much all 4-hour closed bullish throughout from Asia session open all the way till New York close. So very strong displacement on the daily. Now, our main buy side target right now in terms of the higher time frame is going to be previous week's high, and our main sell side target is obviously going to be these two relative equal lows right here, which is the previous week's low and this weekly low. And right now, like I said, we are reacting off this very small daily bearish for value gap. Now on the 4-hour, we do still have draws higher. We have these highs right here. We have this 4-hour first presented. So we do have a move higher. We had a strong shift to the down to the upside. So we kind of just really want to be paying attention right here and seeing what market open come Sunday, Monday wants to do. So if we want to trade higher and we want to displace and trade higher above this daily bearish for value gap, what can we be looking to target? Well, we can be looking for an inversion, a retest, and then potentially for price to trade into here towards previous week's high, and that would be our main target. We really don't need to be worrying about weekly high, this weekly high after, unless we displace above the previous week's high. So again, scenario number one, bullish scenario, is very simple. You can see we took out sell side, we took out two sets of weekly lows. After lows are swept, we usually anticipate obviously some type of rebalance of price. Now this could have been the rebalance, just this one candle, this one daily candle right here, but we need to pay attention from here. We do have a lot of strong volume in the market, so we really want to be paying attention to what happens with this daily fair value gap. If order flow continues bullish, we inverse this gap, we'll probably see a retest, a continuation, and then we're going to be looking potentially for price to continue towards previous week's high. That would be our bullish scenario, right? We also want to be paying close attention because again, we do have 4-hour gap right here. So this could be an area where we see some type of reversal. But again, this is my bullish scenario on the higher time frame. We inverse this gap. We come back in, we get a retrace, and we look for continuations higher up towards our ultimate goal being previous week's high. And then again, if we displace above previous week's high, we're going to be looking for a retrace and then potentially looking to trade towards this weekly high. And then from there, obviously all-time high. But that's our bullish scenario. We get above this gap, retrace. We're looking for previous week's high. We displace above previous week's high. We get a retrace. We're going to be looking for this weekly high. Those are my bullish scenarios. Again, keeping a close eye on this draw right here. We have a 4-hour high right here. We have the 4-hour gap. So could be areas where we see some like resistance. But again, if we displace above this gap, we start inversing. That's what we're going to be looking to seek out in terms of buy side. Now for sell side, we do have, again, relative equal lows, previous week's low and this weekly low. So if we reject off of this gap and we fail to break above it, what would I be looking for? I'd be looking for displacement, retrace, boom, looking to seek out previous week's low and this weekly low. That would be my bearish scenario. And obviously, if we start, displacing below the weekly low, we have tons more higher time frame sell side that we can target. We have these weekly lows, we have a monthly fair value gap. But that's, again, I'm not worried about that until we displace below this weekly low. So again, my bearish scenario, okay, we react off this gap, we see a nice displacement to the downside, and then we're looking for continuations all the way down to previous week's low and this weekly low, which could again serve as a reversal area. We could see that, okay? But say we get that again, we continue down, displace. If we displace below this weekly low, then what am I looking for on the higher time frame? I'm going to be looking to take these weekly lows out. Now, I'm not sure how much we'll trade towards or how aggressively we will trade this week. We do have a very volatile week. We have a lot of news, but we'll have to see. But that is my bearish scenario. If we displace lower, I'm looking for continuations towards previous week's low and weekly low. If we displace and inverse this gap, I'm looking for, displacement, retrace, and then price to trade towards previous week's high and this weekly high. Okay. One thing to notice though, like I said, NQ has these two relative equal lows. If we look at ES, these lows are very far away from each other. So one thing that we could potentially see is a rotation down in SMT, which sends price higher. So we really need to be paying attention to that scenario, just because, again, ES is heavily leading bullish. So we need to be watching ES, right? If NQ shows some manipulation, comes down, sweeps these lows out, that could be an SMT that pushes price higher, and that's like the catalyst to push price higher. So that's something to watch out for. And we need to be paying attention to ES because ES is very close to taking back out all-time highs. So if ES just continues to rip bullish and it wants these all-time highs at the start of the week, then we're likely just going to see NQ push up higher. ES is clearly the leading bullish index right now, so that is something we need to pay close attention to. This week, I don't really have like a strict bias. If ES continues to pull higher, I'm looking for NQ to pull higher. And if NQ wants to reject and go lower, I'm looking for, obviously, both of them to retrace. But we're going to need to pay close attention to ES because of how close it is to all-time highs. So that's just something to watch out for. So those are my draws. Those are my plans going forward. These are my draws for buy side. These are my sell side draws. Let's go over to the news really quick. We'll go through this, and then that's pretty much it for this video. So starting off on Monday, we have a no news Monday. I will be trading on Monday, but when it's no news Mondays, especially on a week with a ton of news, I prefer to de-risk. So what I'm going to do is probably just try to scrape a winning day out, like $150 winning days from my accounts, just to work towards my payouts. Or I'll just trade eval, but I will be on the charts come market open. So it'll still be a trading day, just won't be like going heavy risk. Tuesday, we have core retail sales at 8:30. This will be a normal trading day. Come market open, I'll be ready to trade, normal risk. And the rest of the week is pretty much the same thing. Wednesday is the reschedule, NFP, and unemployment rate, 8:30. This will be a normal trading day. Unemployment claims, Thursday, 8:30, normal trading day. Again, come market open. Friday, CPI. This will be a more volatile one. Hopefully you get some good data to trade towards, but this will be a normal trading day come market open. So pretty much a normal trading week. A lot of red folder events, so I'm super excited for this one. I hate 10 a.m. news days, so this should be a lot better. We don't have to worry about news in the middle of the session. But if anything changes, I'll update in the Discord and how I'm approaching the day every single day. But that's it for me, guys. Again, this is my chart. If you guys want to mark these levels, keep an eye on these levels. This is what I'm looking at. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.